Hi everybody, it's me Alexis again. I'm doing two videos today coming from Valdosta, Georgia. And the video actually that I wanted to do is that I've been getting, I do an event every Saturday, sometimes Saturday and Sunday, sometimes Friday, Saturday and Sunday. But I do something at least every Saturday. And I've been getting a lot of people asking me, including people on my team who are starting themselves. Most of you guys have worked with me at least once or are going to. So you have the idea. But I get a lot of people asking me questions about my setup. So I wanted to try, the best that I can to kind of just explain what I find works for me and what doesn't work for me particularly and why. It's only to give you some ideas. Every area and place is different, and what works over here doesn't necessarily work where you are. It's really just to give some ideas and to help out anybody on my team who's getting ready to take the plunge and do their first event by themselves. Also too, you got to remember where you live and the mean, the average income. And some people are in lower income places, some people are in higher income places, so different things sell in different places. So that's one of the things to keep in mind if you're going to purchase any inventory to start your event, to do your event. Remember what the income is like. If you're in a lower income place, area where your event is, and you're going to buy jewelry that's going to cost people $20, $30, $40 a piece, while we know how beautiful it is, especially those Mark products and the funky little, I had to get a little funky myself, but we know that you're going to have a hard time selling those. So that's in that area. I would maybe go for the deal of the days, the $3, $4, $5 items. I try to keep it under $10 when I'm in an area, with lower. I'll sometimes go up to $15, but generally speaking, my $5 to $10 items and jewelry sets are what sell the best. I can also tell you, a lot of people ask me what product should I purchase. This is just from my experience, like I said, in my areas, but Skin So Soft Bath Oil must have. The big oils that were in campaign 8 for $9.99 for the 24 ounce, I stocked up on like 10 of them because those are the easiest sell in the world, especially when people see that it's not the 16.9 but the 24 ounce. They go, oh my god, and have to have it. And with bug season here right now, you might be watching this video later, but right now we're in bug season. We're in the beginning of May, and especially down here in Georgia with the really bad gnats and mosquitoes, and even the love bugs are out again. But Skin So Soft Bath Oil to help keep the ticks away from the dogs and all that kind of stuff is a big seller. And right now, the bug spray that just came out, we're in campaign 11 right now, and the bug spray is another huge seller. The other day I had $150 in sales at my local gas station, and I'd say 100 of it was bug guard. So, and now that the sunscreen came out, I've added sunscreen to it as well. So, those are some of the items that I find sell really well. Also the deodorants, the dollar deodorants, fantastic sells. People come up to me and buy 10, 15 at a time. So I recommend having a big bunch of those on hand as well. Get a variety. The cases, unfortunately, only come one type in the case. So if you can buddy up with somebody, that's great. But I usually wait until they go on sale, like 2 for $1.75, and I'll buy like 6 of every kind. And every week, every campaign, I stock up and try to get like another 12 to 15 deodorants and keep my supply replenished. Because that's a huge seller. I don't charge tax on it. I just $1. Here you go, here you go, here you go. And then there are some people that walk by that you want to say, here, I think you need the deodorant. That's a story for another time. Perfume and cologne. Huge sellers for me. The cheaper perfumes, the perfume sets especially. When I have the femme perfume, I'm having a very hard time I dropped it from 30 down to 25 for the set. I'm probably going to have to drop it down to 20 after Mother's Day. It's a very hard sell for me for some reason, as was when I bought the Unplugged. That was in the higher range. When I got the Chris Paul's, the Untouchable men's cologne, fantastic, still is. And I'm glad it's come down in price because it's so much of an easier sell. I hand out samples all the time to men walking by and they love it. And that's what I did to sell Passion. What I did was, and this works, I'm going to do with the Femme. I have a huge event coming up, I'm going to do with the Femme. Rose petals in a basket, simple, simple, simple. To get the perfumes to sell, I always highlight one on my front table, and I'm going to show you a picture of one of my front tables, even though it's not the best example. I'll show you anyway. On my front table, I have a little shelf, and I highlight a perfume, and I have the lotion, the perfume, and the spray bottle, because I always open one to like bathe myself in it, you know, before I get out there, and I keep samples so people can walk away with samples. But getting rose petals is what I did for the Passion perfume. And I got red and black, I sprayed them up, and I tossed them in a basket, and I stood in front of my table. The key is in front of the table. You need to go get them, especially if you're at a huge event where tons of people are walking by. You need to stand in front of your table to really sometimes bring in people. Don't be afraid to do it now, you know. Remember, it's your table, it's you do however you want to do it. But if you have no customers coming up to you and people walking by you, then, and you're just sitting in the chair, then you need to get off your tush-tush and go bring them to you and get the sales. When I do events at the gas station, we will tell you now, I have no problem going up to the pump, taking out a hand cream and walking right up to the ladies and going right into their hands saying you need some hand cream, or handing them a book, or the passenger sitting in the car bored looking out the window while, you know, the husband is pumping the gas. I walk right up and hand them books. I just walk over there and then they go, oh, I didn't even see you there. Oh, let me come and look. And bam, they never would have come, and then the lady dropped $25. You know what I mean? So sometimes you got to go get them depending on where you're at. But I try to highlight, back to what I was saying, highlight the perfume, spray it on the rose petals. And then this is my secret. And I know some of you guys know my secret. I tell the ladies to take the rose petal and put it in the bra. And I tell them they're going to smell it all day on themselves. And when they do, here is my book. Give me a call and I will bring them that perfume. Because they're going to smell that all day. And assuming that they love it, by the end of the day, they're going to want their own perfume. So, and that is what I will be doing with my Femme. And hopefully, you know, that'll work as well as it did with the Passion perfume. But I got rid of all of my 6 sets that I had of Passion. Another huge seller besides perfume and cologne, and also back to before I talk about another one, samples. You gotta have tons of perfume and cologne samples, especially the ones that you have at your table. The worst thing in the world is when people come up, and they do with the deodorants, and they open it to smell it. So, and I have to remind them, if you open it and you break the seal, you bought it. So with the perfumes, people want to open it and start spraying it, and I got to go, no. If you need a sample, no problem. I have tons of samples for you. Which ones would you like to smell? Also, don't forget now, I don't know if this is a rumor or what the deal is, but I do it anyway. You know, when you're eating all fancy and you got the fancy hat and the fancy dresses and you're in the fancy restaurant with all the fancy silverware, and then they bring you your lemon sherbet to cleanse your palate in between your meals. I don't know if some of you might be like, she's nuts, what is she talking about? But they cleanse your palate in the fancy restaurants before your next meal. So if people are smelling too many perfumes, oh boy, my daughter's getting into trouble, my 2-year-old. If they, so sorry about that, cut out like that. Anyway, what I was talking about was when they cleanse your palate. So you got to make sure to cleanse your nose too. Let me move that. There we go, better. So the best way to get somebody to cleanse their nose from all those scents, all of a sudden, if you smell too many perfumes at once, they're going to all become like one scent. So if coffee grinds, or coffee grounds, I guess, is a great way. After they smell 3 perfumes, you're supposed to say, okay, now smell the coffee, and take a deep breath, and then you can go back to others. And this is a good way, because after a while, people are going to complain they all smell like the same thing. So when you got somebody who's doing a bunch. Also, when I have a feature perfume, especially like the Haiku Kyoto that I was doing, those samples were 10 for $1. And you could go through 10 packs of those. So the way I prevented it was I opened it up, I let people smell it, and I held it up. Then I put it back down like underneath something, and the next time somebody won, I said, here you go, and I opened it, and so that a couple of people used, smelled it. Nobody touched it, so it wasn't like, contaminated. It was just me holding it in the wrapper so that people could continue to smell it a couple of times before I just ditched the sample. And if somebody wanted one to take home, obviously I was more than happy to oblige. But you get a lot of people that come by, especially at events, and just want to smell, look, touch. They want something for free, but they have no intention of buying. And when you spot those, and the more events you do, the more you're going to know that. When you spot them, just, start telling them, oh, I'm sorry, I don't have a sample for that one, or I don't have a sample for this one, or I can get very costly, sample-wise. But those are huge, especially sets. Sweet honesty. Always, always, always have sweet honesty on hand. Big seller, especially older people. Oh, I remember when I went to prom, or my grandmother, or sweet honesty is a huge seller. Also, when it comes to men's colognes, well, let me finish. Ladies, Rare Pearls and Haiku, the regular plain Haiku, and Far Away are the ones that I find are the huge sellers that I try to keep on hand. That doesn't mean the other ones don't sell. That just means that those are the ones I make sure I never run out of. For men's colognes, Black Suede, Perceive, Mesmerize, and Wild Country are the ones that I always make sure are on hand, besides if I'm doing anything else. Like I have a couple of other ones besides that too. But I make sure I have those and have sample for those. Those are huge, especially the sets. The Black Suede and the Wild Country 3-piece sets for $10 or $12. People jump on that. The Mesmerize for $20. Again, it depends where you're doing your event. But, hopefully. But, I try to plan it because I want to sell, and not get stuck with some stuff. So, again, these are just a hint of what works here. You might very well put out the 4-piece Mesmerize for men set for $20, and have somebody walk by and grab it right away. So it depends where you are and who, what you're doing. The next thing that is huge is jewelry. Jewelry. People like the sparkle, and I love purple and had to stop buying just purple jewelry. But people love to shop the inexpensive jewelry, and I buy things that are mostly under $10, like the 3-piece sets for $10 I sell them for. Pretty much every now and then I go over $12, but I don't tend to really go over the $10 mark because I find I have trouble selling the items over the $10 mark. So, I say under the 10. Deal of the day, it's fantastic for that. So are the outlet books. The stretchy bracelets, especially like the ones like these that I'm wearing. The stretchy bracelets are great. The one piece of jewelry I stay away from are watches. They're very expensive, and a watch is a very personal decision, with or without numbers, big or small, gold or silver, colored, waterproof, not waterproof. There's so many choices that I choose not to stock watches because they're a $15 to $20 to $25 investment, and you don't know how long it's going to take to sell. So I stay away from the watches. When it comes to makeup, there's way too much makeup, and especially like down here in the South, in the hot and humid heat, keeping a lot of makeup, especially lipsticks on hand, everything will melt. Even under 10, it will all melt. Like we basically all summer sit around the 95 to 100 degree mark every day with 100% humidity. What I do keep are glimmer sticks, especially black glimmer sticks. All the different types of black. Black onyx, black waterproof, black not waterproof, black where you have to sharpen it. that's what I do, is go for the black ones. I have a bunch of other colors, and I'm going to tell you, I've had them for almost a year now. They're still in their wrapper. They don't sell the other colors. People just really want the black, sometimes a dark brown. I also have a couple of mascaras, only because they've come with things where I've gotten them for really dirt cheap. So I have a couple of mascaras. But, and I do have a few lipsticks, again, that come in sets, but especially, right, I mean, I got like 3 or 4 I'm talking about. I just stay away from them. And I've learned nail polishes. I have a very hard time selling nail polishes. Again, so many different types, so many beautiful colors, so many hard decisions. And I got the Pretty Spring colors, and they just don't sell very well for me. So I stay away from that. And one of the other items, especially, you know, we want to remember the kids. And I buy some jewelry for the kids as well. Some of the little earring sets, or the little watches, or the Hello Kitty rings that went on sale. Again, I keep it low. Mommy's not going to spend $25 on a Hello Kitty watch for their 4-year-old daughter. Very few mommies are going to do that. I know for my 6-year-old daughter, won't do that, because I know that within 2 hours it's going to be hidden under the couch somewhere and nobody can find it. So, you know, again, if you're a mom, or whether you're a dad, you know, think like, what would you do in this situation? Would you buy it? Would you invest that money in that piece if you know it's going to get lost for your child? So the only thing, I have some of the shampoos and the shower gels for the kids, and they are not selling. The only thing for now on I'm going to stock for the kids is the roll-ons, the bath roll-ons, you know, in the different flavors. Those are the only things for now on I'm going to. Apologize again. But I think I was talking about the roll-ons and the bath and the kids and stuff like that. Yeah, that's the only thing that I stock and that I plan on stocking anymore for the kids. Some of the pictures that I might show you on my tables, you're going to see a lot of stuff, a lot of things I got stuck with over the last 6 months, but because of President's Club, I haven't wanted to return it, so I've been trying to sell it off, including a men's Colt watch. So, you're going to see a lot of things that I just didn't mention, and that's how I can tell you, honestly, that it doesn't sell. I have some elements, I have a new products, they just don't sell unless you mark them down so low that, you know, that makeup and foundations and those is such a personal thing to a woman, or whomever is placing it on. So it's very hard to stock and have the exact right one that they want. You know, especially the Elements line, the New line, the Clear Skin line. There's so many different ones to choose from. You know, it's all up to you. You make your choice how you see fit. I'm just, you know, kind of giving you what is working and not working for me. Now, when I set up, I have 2 tables and a set of shelves. The shelves I got at Home Depot. They had that size, or they had some a little bit, well, I guess you can see a little bit longer. I think my shelves were 15 and change, or they had ones that were a little bit longer for 26, somewhere around there. I wish I'd gotten the longer ones now, but right now they have all my gift baskets on there. Normally they have my perfume sets on there. And the Bath and Body sets also sell. People love sets and love things grouped together. So they're going to buy the 4-piece Sweet Honesty set for $12 before they buy the bottle for $9. You know what I mean? That's just the human nature, and I'm the same way too. I mean, come on. I go to little things and I look and I see, oh, it's grouped together. I'm going to turn this around a little bit so that you can see some of the pictures that are on my computer of a setup. Now I'm going to also tell you what's wrong with the setup, and this one was one done at the gas station. So the spot that he gave me has some of his items in the background, which isn't pretty picture-wise, but I was at a gas station, so it didn't hurt me sales-wise. But when you're doing an event, you should definitely have a nice tablecloth blocking your boxes underneath the table. I did until my husband lost all my tablecloths, and I need to go on a mission this week and buy maybe a black twin sheet, flat sheet, is what I'm thinking for both my tables. My tables are 6-foot long tables. One is a little bit wider than the other, but they're 2 6-foot tables, or the size of my tables, and they do fold up and fold in half with a handle. And the shelves come apart every single time, and then I have 2 fold-up tables, which in these pictures, I had one which was doing domestic violence, and the other one had the bug guard on it. So because my gift baskets have taken up so much room, I've lost a lot of room. after Mother's Day, those will be gone, and I'll have more room to put back on my shelves. I also want to show you some up close. Oh, where I put them. What else I keep on my front table before I show you? First of all, my front table, I put all my jewelry. It's the eye catcher of people walking by. It's the jewelry, the shine. That's what grabs people. When people say, oh, I didn't know Avon even does jewelry. And that's how you get them in, you get them talking. I found the jewelry works best. I also, books. I spread my books on the front table. If I'm working with somebody else, we do an every other type spread out. Or if there's, usually I try not to do an event with only one other person. I find works best. I was doing them alone for a long time, but physically I can't put up tents, and with my arthritis, I can't physically do them much. So, but I'm proud that I have a downline that wants to help because they're awesome. And I finally have people that want to come and join me and do the events with me. So it's fantastic. It's awesome. And I didn't have that before. People that really wanted to do an event, they were doing their own thing. So I'm very proud of my team, and I'm very grateful for them as well because they help me in more ways than they know. And that's why I love Avon. But I do keep a spread out of these. If I'm by myself, they're just mine. If I'm with somebody else, we do every other one. We also keep our own piles. If she starts talking to somebody, make sure that they get your book. I don't want them to go and pick up my book when they've been talking to you the whole time. So, what's fair is fair. If you're talking to somebody, if I'm sitting on my rear end and, the other girl is up talking to people, well, then her book is going out to those people, not me sitting on my rear end. She's doing the work. She hands the book out. But it's a great way to hand out books. And even if you have to step around to the front of the table, I take my pile of books, she takes her pile, she stands over there, I stand over there, she talks to people, how would you like an Avon book? And don't rule out the men. The men will take an Avon book to take home to their wife. 75% of the time, a man will take the book to give to his wife. Oh, my wife loves that. And don't be surprised if they grab the book and say how much they love Avon too. Or they didn't notice and they come over and can't wait to grab some Perceive and Mesmerize. It happens all the time. So I've learned, and just recently, and it's because one of my downline team members showed me, she started giving them out to men because there were only men coming up at the gas station to buy beer and that kind of stuff. So she started giving it to men. So see, you can learn from your downline. You can learn from anybody and everybody around you. There's no ranks, you know what I mean? We all learn together new and great things. What else I keep on my front table is this little clipboard, usually with the pen. And what this has is a questionnaire that I've chosen to use, which I might have adopted. Ooh, I don't want to let them out too much here. I got these. They come 4 on a page. I believe that they've been posted in the groups. I've changed mine around a little bit to match me and my needs, including I've added down here, is it okay to text you? Because I want to know if they have a cell phone, because I like to drop texts on people and just say, hi, how are you? I remember you. On the back is where I put notes. If I'm talking to somebody and I get their information, especially if they might be recruitable and are a prospect, I make sure on the back, as soon as they walk away, I jot down as many notes as I can to remind myself, so that 6 months from now, I'm going to remember vaguely who they are. And if I don't, I have everything written down. Had 2, twin boys with her and they weren't feeling well, or were having trouble with allergies, or, she was about to have another baby, or they just relocated from Texas in the military. Whatever it is, because when you call that person, now obviously not 6 months later, you want to call them the next day. But if for some reason it doesn't work out, or you end up calling them further on down the line to check on them, to see maybe they've thought about it, I always have information so that I remember something personal about them. It makes them feel special and makes them feel wanted. So I highly recommend it. If you're looking for this sheet of these, like I said, I believe that they're posted in the Onward group and in the Motivation group. And I think that I have put these up in our local Skyscraper group and our District 1172 page. If not, if I haven't or you need them, just let me know. Click on me on Facebook and say hey, and you know, I'm always floating around in the groups. You can't miss me. I'm always around. So I'm more than happy to share this version with you if you want. But like I said, it's really somebody else's version. I think I just I just added that line. There was something else there and I added that. But this sits on my front table always, always, always. And I always say to people, hey, would you like to join my mailing list? And sometimes they'll say, no, thank you. And I'll say, well, listen, I said, you know, let me tell you, if you join my mailing list, basically what you're going to do is you're not going to get a bunch of spam. I don't have time to spam you. You're going to get special offers that other people don't get. Sometimes when I'm in a great mood, I'll send out an email and say, anybody who places an order with me this week or this campaign is going to get 10% off because I'm a President's Club and I want to celebrate with you because without you, my customers, I couldn't have made it happen. And sometimes I do things like that. So it would be fantastic if you joined my mailing list so that you would get a chance to take advantage of the offers as well. And generally I'll get them to come. Sometimes, you know, I entice them with a free sample if you join my mailing list. But something that my upline said to me, and it really hit me, is that if you have to beg, plead, and hand out so many things to get them to do this, then they don't want this. I only want the people who are really interested and really want to be on my mailing list. Because people that are filling in all this just to get something free. Okay, this is my front table. You see all the jewelry that I put there? Like I said, ignore the boxes. They shouldn't be there. Skin So Soft bath oil, always on my front table. And in this case, right there, that is my hand cream. There's my jewelry and there's my books all spread out. There's the sign is right there. And more Skin So Soft behind it. Here's my highlighted perfume of the day. This was the Haiku, Kyoto, and the Femme. And I had the strips and samples sitting right behind it. Again, we really, really, really don't want the nasty boxes in the picture. But, what? Wait a minute. I don't know what that is. Hang on a second. Oh, dear. I went the wrong way. Pardon me. Nobody needs to see the rain from the other day. Okay, this is a picture of my other table. Over here, these are my perfumes, are here. This is the perfume section, the sets. I have some on a shelf here that I highlighted. Then over here is some of the skincare and hair products. And then over here is the men's cologne. Back here are the deodorants, and here's the men's cologne. I've learned to kind of separate them on the table because, believe it or not, some of the men get very confused over which is theirs and which isn't. And then as you can start to see here are my shelves, which you're going to see a better picture of in just a minute. My shelves that have the gift baskets. There you go. Normally that has perfumes on them and the perfume sets, but there's the gift baskets and my leaning tent. And this was the empowerment table. This is where I had that sign that I just showed you with all the empowerment jewelry sitting on there. Unfortunately, it didn't sell well. So I have it now to sell, but it's for a good cause, so I'm more than happy to have it on hand and know that my proceeds went elsewhere. Here's my Skin So Soft table, and there is another sign that I put over here as well about help wanted, and that is because people were, this was at the gas station, the doors to the gas station were over here, and the pumps were over here. So people, I had it tilted, I had it turned, so that as people walked in the front door over here, they could see the Skin So Soft and see that sticking out. So again, you don't, those boxes irk me. But that's just one example of one of mine. And that's kind of how it all looked together. And like I said, that other table you just saw was over here, so it didn't make the cut. But if you have a nice tablecloth, you will cover all this up. So that's pretty much, and then I had an Avon sign which I borrowed from somebody. It doesn't belong to me, but I do want to get one done as soon as possible. And that is pretty much just how the setup looked, and that's how it looked from the side view as well. There's a lot of stuff there. Am I recording now? All right. It appears that I've recorded this section a few times because I keep forgetting to click the red button. I see the timer going. Okay, so hopefully I'm good. I just showed you the pictures of the setup, and you know, like I've said before, it irks me that I had no tablecloth. I hate when people can see the boxes. I like to hide them underneath. And if for some reason the tablecloth one side is longer than the other, or you know, you put it even and you can see it, then I do it a little bit more this way, so that when people walk up to you, they just don't see all those boxes. You know, you can see it from behind from where we are. but not fun back there. It just bothers me a bit. But that's pretty much it. Now, when people say to me, how do you find places to set up? Your local gas stations, most of them, yes, I ask permission before I go. I've heard the saying that it's easier to ask for forgiveness before asking for permission. But personally, I'm a scaredy cat. Plain and simple. I do not want trouble with the cops. And when the cops, you know, come, if I get pulled over for a speeding ticket, I'm going to poop in my pants. So I just don't want to deal with, I don't need any more stress in my life or trouble. You should, though, check with your local laws and local ordinances and make sure that if you do set up on the side of the road or in a parking lot that's abandoned, try to find the owner. If you can't, just make sure that you're not breaking any laws, because I don't want anybody going to jail and calling me to bail you out and saying, but you're a video, because again, that's, you got to do what's right, and you got to find all that up to, what your local laws are. But I have agreements with Little Caesars. I had to jump through hoops and make a lot of phone calls and speak with the landlord and the franchisee, but they were all fine with it as long as I signed a paper that I took responsibility for my customers. If one of my customers got hurt in front of me, that they couldn't sue Little Caesars. So, sometimes you have to do a few things. But the one thing that I do that I always offer whoever allows me to give me, a spot to set up, is if they have coupons or if they have flyers, I am more than happy to give them out. And I tell them, listen, because you're giving me this spot, if you give me 100 flyers, I will guarantee you they'll get out. If not today, they'll be put in books and customers' orders. They will be handed out until all 100 are handed out. And I'm a woman of my word. I make sure that every single one of them, whether there's a couple of flyers going in everybody's bag or whatever the case may be, plus who doesn't want a pizza coupon anyway? But I make sure that I keep my promise, that nobody could ever say I don't. And but that is what I give them in exchange for them giving me a spot to use. So, but I do ask permission. Now, places like the big grocery stores, Walmart, those places will never give me permission. I'm in competition with them. Mommy. Sometimes they will let you set up to just recruit and not sell. Like Dollar General, you can recruit, not sell. But that's the big secret behind it. I do ask for permission. I do ask if it's okay. And I have a lot to set up. And to set it up and for 10 minutes later to be told you're not allowed here, leave, it's just too much for me and my arthritis and it's too exhausting to get that far and get that psyched, because I get psyched, man, when I'm doing something. Like I said, I do it every Saturday, sometimes Sundays, and sometimes Friday, Saturday, and Sundays also, depending. So by Monday, I got to take the day off and lay down in the bed. So, but I do what I got to do. I love my Avon, and I love doing setups. I love talking to people, and I love meeting people. So with that, my video is getting super duper long, and I didn't mean for that to happen. But with that, if you have any questions, first of all, feel free to contact me on my website, www.youravon.com/Alexis Brady, ALEXISBRADY. And I would love for you to click that little like button down at the bottom of your screen there and like my video. It would be awesome. And I'd love for you to join me on my Avon page on Facebook. You can go into the search bar on Facebook and search Awesome Avon Alexis. Or you can go right to the link, which is www.facebook.com/Awesome Avon Alexis, all one word. AWESOMEAVONALEXIS. I'd love for you to come and like my page, share it with other people, ask them to like my page, share this video with others, use it as much as you can. If it even helps one person, that is fantastic. But I know a lot of people ask me these questions, and especially for my downline and you girls, and you know who you are, that are getting ready to start doing your own things. These are my hints and my tips that just work best for me and in my area, and I hope that they help somebody somehow, somewhere. I hope they help you too. Feel free again to ask me any questions that you may want to. I hope everybody has a fantastic summer. I'll be doing some more videos shortly, but it's time to go rip the makeup off and get back into my pajamas. I really do have my pajama bottoms on. I just got dressed from here up so I could try to, and I think I have one more video that I need to fix because of some adjustments in our prices and that kind of stuff. All good. So, I wish you lots of luck, and I hope that it works out for you. And, you know, again, contact me if you need to. Have a great summer. Have a fantastic weekend. And love your Avon. Love yourself. And remember, take care of yourself because you deserve it. Bye, everybody. See you next time.